Sister Wives Kody Brown confirms what we all suspected. Sister Wives fans have known for quite some time that Kody Brown is egotistical and deeply shallow. But this season, he's made several admissions that reveal he's much worse than anyone initially suspected. See what other viewers are saying about the family patriarch's vanity and calculating behavior during the new episode. Kody Brown makes it clear he only cares about his wife. During the course of Sister Wives Season 19, fans have witnessed Kody Brown behaving horrendously to get his own way. He cried while saying goodbye to Meri in a failed attempt to manipulate her into moving back to Arizona. He's also admitted he would financially screw over Janelle if Robyn would allow it. Kody Brown has made it crystal clear that he's no longer interested in polygamy. So why does he keep trying to reconcile with his ex-wives? Plenty of fans think Kody wants to keep his ex-wives around so he can financially exploit them. When there are multiple streams of income, he and Robyn can live in a lap of luxury. After losing Cristin, Janelle, and Meri, their financial situation weakened significantly. I believe Kody only let the women on to get the maximum amount of money, and he ultimately wanted them to serve Robyn and give Robyn everything she wanted, and he expected them to have nothing and be miserable for the rest of their life so that he and Robyn could be happy, a Sister Wives viewer shared on Reddit. During Sunday night's new episode, Kody revealed he thinks his family won't invite him to things because they're against Robyn. He completely failed to take responsibility for anything and insisted Robyn was also innocent. Sister Wives fans agree it's all about Robyn Brown. This is an idea that most viewers have suspected for years. After 19 seasons, it's abundantly clear Kody Brown only cares about Robyn's happiness and well-being, and he will step on anyone to ensure Robyn is well cared for. Kody Brown paced the living room of his Flagstaff home, his signature curls bouncing with every step. He had just finished a tense Zoom call with TLC executives, who had hinted that the next season of Sister Wives needed to be more authentic. Authentic, he thought with a bitter laugh. The word tasted strange to him now. What could be more authentic than a family falling apart on national television? The problem was, Kody knew the audience wasn't buying the image he'd so carefully curated for years. They saw right through the glossy talk of unity and spiritual fulfillment. The cracks in the family had become gaping chasms, and the viewers were hungry for a confirmation of what they had long suspected. Kody Brown's world was built on a fragile foundation of ego, jealousy, and control. And today, Kody was finally ready to give them what they wanted. It started with Cristin's departure. Her decision to leave their plural marriage had rocked Kody to his core. He had tried to dismiss it publicly, labeling her as selfish and ungrateful. But deep down, he knew better. Cristin's leaving wasn't just about her own happiness. It was a bold declaration that the empire he had constructed was failing. For years, Kody had positioned himself as the glue holding the family together, the charismatic patriarch who could balance the needs of 4 wives and 18 children. But Cristin's departure had sent a ripple effect through the family. Janelle had become more distant, Meri had grown even quieter, and Robyn, his favorite, though he'd never admit it, had started to feel the pressure of being his last emotional refuge. What Kody hadn't anticipated was how much Cristin's freedom would embolden the others. The truth, as Kody would finally admit in a rare, unfiltered confessional, was that Cristin's exit had exposed his own fears. "It's not just about Cristin leaving," he said, sitting in front of the camera with a rare vulnerability. "It's about the fact that she did something I was too scared to do myself. She put her happiness first, and that terrifies me because I've spent my whole life convincing myself that this lifestyle was the only way to be happy." Kody's eyes glistened, and he leaned forward, as if to emphasize the gravity of what he was about to say next. "I think a part of me always knew this wasn't sustainable, but I couldn't let go of the dream. the idea that I could have it all. 4 wives, a big family, and the admiration of a community that believed in me. I needed it to work because if it didn't, then who am I? Just a guy who failed at love 4 times. Meri's response to Kody's confession was swift and cutting. She had overheard him talking to the camera crew from her corner of the house, where she had retreated after another awkward family dinner. For years, Meri had been the forgotten wife, clinging to a marriage that Kody had publicly declared dead. Hearing him admit his doubts now felt like a slap in the face. That evening, she confronted him in the kitchen. "So now you're finally ready to admit it," she said, arms crossed. "You've been blaming everyone else for years, but it turns out you've known all along this wasn't going to work." Kody looked at her startled. "Meri, it's not like that. I'm just saying." "You're just saying what? That you've been lying to yourself, to us, to me?" Her voice cracked. "You've let me sit here for years, waiting for something that was never going to happen. Do you even know what that's done to me?" Meri's words hung heavy in the air. Kody opened his mouth to respond, but for once he had nothing to say. Meanwhile, Janelle was watching all of this unfold with a quiet resolve. Unlike Meri, she had no interest in hashing out old grievances with Kody. She had already made up her mind. It was time to move on. Cristin had shown her what life could look like on the other side of this chaos, and Janelle was ready to follow. In her own confessional, Janelle shared her thoughts with surprising candor. "Kody's finally admitting what we all suspected," she said. "He's not this perfect leader or visionary. He's just a man who bit off more than he could chew. And I don't say that to be cruel. I think he knows it too. But at this point, I'm done waiting for him to figure it out. I have my own life to live." Janelle's declaration was a turning point for fans who had long rooted for her independence. The once harmonious Brown family was now a collection of individuals, each trying to navigate their own paths. Robyn, however, was not ready to let go. As Kody's self-proclaimed loyal wife, she had invested too much into the idea of their marriage to see it crumble now. But even she couldn't ignore the shifting dynamics. The other wives were no longer willing to play along with the fantasy, and Kody himself was unraveling. In a tearful moment, Robyn shared her fears. "I feel like I'm the last one standing," she said, her voice trembling. "Everyone else is walking away, and I'm just here, trying to hold it all together." But how do you hold something together when the person who's supposed to lead doesn't even believe in it anymore? By the time the family gathered for what would be their final group meeting, the air was thick with tension. Kody stood at the center of the room, surrounded by his wives and a few of his older children. He looked at each of them, his expression a mix of guilt and defiance. "I know I've let you all down," he began. "I've been trying to hold onto something that maybe wasn't meant to last. But I want you to know that everything I've done, I did because I believed in us. In this family." Cristin, seated next to Janelle, spoke up. "Kody, we've all believed in this family at some point. But belief isn't enough. It takes work, and it takes honesty. And sometimes it takes knowing when to let go." Her words were met with nods from around the room. Even Robyn, though visibly upset, seemed to acknowledge the truth in them. Kody took a deep breath. "I don't know what the future looks like for us. But I do know one thing. I can't keep pretending everything's fine when it's not. So from here on out, I'm going to be honest with myself and with all of you." And just like that, the illusion shattered. Kody Brown had confirmed what everyone had suspected all along. The dream of a perfect plural family was just that, a dream. But in its place, something new was emerging. Honesty, though painful, had a way of clearing the air. And as the Brown family began to forge their separate paths, one thing became clear. Sometimes the most authentic thing you can do is let go.